Hi, I am Ryan Doombrowski of game development studio Doombrowski.
And I'm Nathan, Twitch streamer and YouTuber, the Ninja Fatman.
And together we are Doom Ninja.
It's a podcast about all things gaming, from streaming to development, new games and old, AAA to indie.
And large chins.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is Pokemon Go. For those who don't know what Pokemon Go is, you're in the minority. It's a mobile-based game where you play Pokemon. You catch them, power them up, evolve them.
Yep. It's a real-world type of thing where you have to go outside of the house in order to find them. You can't just sit in the house. Unless you have a lot of money to just continuously use incense. And you'd catch a lot of boring stuff.
That is true. But the whole point is to get out and go. Hence the name Pokemon Go. I know for us, we've actually gone and hung out and done stuff for the single purpose of catching Pokemon that never would have happened had that game not existed.
Traveled to other cities just for that reason.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot lately. My old lady likes playing, so pretty much every day after work, we've been grinding out levels and catching them all.
I think we've gone every Sunday, me, the wife, and the kid, to a park of some sort, because most parks have quite a few stops. And we've gone to a bunch of different parks, which my daughter has been ecstatic about.
Oh yeah, the stops, by the way. The stops are very necessary in order to continue the gameplay. The stops are where you get all your items. It's basically just a currency-based game. You have Pokeballs, coins, things like that you have to continuously go through. So you got to restock at the Pokestops. And they're generally at churches or parks, landmarks, things like that.
Public pieces of art.
Yeah. And certain Pokemon are supposedly hanging out in certain regions. So if there's like an industrial district, you're supposed to find more electric stuff. From my experience over the last weekend, we went to the beach and there was tons of electric stuff there. And of course, water. And you see water there. There's a surprising amount of variance just going from a beach from the city.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess the reason we're talking about now is the 1.1 patch came out. There was some previous smaller patches that were specific to iOS. Mostly because there was a gigantic bug where your entire Google account had access by the Pokemon app. They oopsed on the security.
And this isn't the only bug. This game has been bug-ridden.
But it's one of those things, too, where the bugs have been forgiven by the community as a whole because it's Pokemon. And they know it's a major endeavor.
The huge effect that it's had has been overall positive. So it's a phenomenon.
Yeah, it's the number one downloaded app on both the Play Store and the App Store.
Yeah, I last looked, it was at 50 million and rising.
Jeez. So that means 1 out of every 6 Americans, including infants, has downloaded this game. That's actually kind of staring at that. But they came their first patch. So I guess we'll go through some of these in kind of comments. So you can now change the look of your trainer for the profile screen.
Which was available at the beginning, but was easy to miss. Sandra, my girlfriend, missed it from the very beginning. Luckily, she got a female character. Otherwise, she'd have been running around as a dude. But she was happy to be able to change it. Even though it's minor, there's not a whole lot you can do in it.
Yeah, it's
some people like it.
4 options for a headband and 3 haircuts.
Like, I went in to look at it yesterday, and I just changed it back to what I had.
Yeah. I pretty much kind of did the same thing. Was like, well, this is what I like from the options I had.
Yeah.
Next up, the achievements. So achievements are a wonderful thing for all gamers.
Yeah.
They changed some of the looks of the medals. And also some of the tracking they fixed and updated, because I was like 55 Pidgeys in before I got my 3 Pidgey badge.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got the Rattata one, where you catch 3 Rattata or whatever it is.
And that's, you do that usually the first hour you play the game, so.
Yeah, and they put new icons on those too. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I did notice on some of them.
It looks a lot nicer.
From there, they moved the menu for transfer and to favorite also.
Which it makes it so much easier. It's so much better, because before you had to scroll past this stupid map that showed you where you don't care where you got your Pokemon at. And,
Oh, so the map, I read this on Reddit. Allegedly, someone was caught cheating because of the Pokemon map. They were at their side girl's house. They caught a couple Pokemon, and when their actual girlfriend went, "Oh, where'd you get this?" Hit the button, boom! It was the girl's match house.
Nice.
Allegedly. I like to move the transfer button because before you'd scroll down, and right before you hit transfer, then the map would pop up.
Yeah,
and then you'd have to scroll down a little more. Also, there was times where you could accidentally hit transfer if you're trying to hit the X.
Yeah, because they're like a millimeter away from each other. Super small. I mean, my screen is extra small on mine, and I definitely transferred stuff that I didn't want to.
They moved the favorite also, which is... I didn't realize what favorite did. I thought it was just, put a nice little star. It stops you from transferring it.
Favorite is actually still in the same location as well. It's in the upper right-hand corner. I don't know why they have two places for it, but maybe they plan on getting rid of the one in the upper right.
Maybe. And then... the most arguable one is so when the game first came out, there was a tracking system. It was one paw, 2 paw, or 3 paw. It was supposed to indicate how many meters away you were from a Pokemon, and you could use those indicators to find one of the 9 items in your radar and hunt it down. Well, then the infamous 3 paw bug hit.
Yeah.
So everything was 3, no matter how far away it was. And instead of fixing it, they just removed the paw system altogether, but left the nearbys up.
Yeah, and it was so frustrating when you're kind of used to the 1, 2, 3. It makes sense, and then it's suddenly 3 because there was some other sort of patch or something that changed it to them all being 3. Because I remember seeing the 1, 2, 3, and we went on so many wild goose chases to find something that's probably not even on this continent. I have no clue. The other day, we found a Gengar near a high school. We saw the silhouette of it, and it moved up to the first location, but it was 3 feet and nowhere to be found.
Yeah, so they just took it out instead of fixing it, and this is where the most flack they've gotten is there's been no communication from Niantic at all about this. They just took it out altogether and didn't say anything like, hey, we're fixing this. It was just, we hope they don't notice. That was the biggest controversy so far.
I heard the foot system gave them a lot of back-end problems. Like, it was just too heavy on the servers or something like that. It was a pain in the ass, basically. Who knows?
I wish they would just tell us that.
Yeah.
So next up, they also changed up some spawns. So they varied up some spawns. My neighborhood used to be nothing but Pidgeys and Rattatas. Now we can catch some Venonats. And what else have I been seeing around here? Oh, Spearows have been showing up more, so they've kind of varied up some.
And this is a huge deal. I'm noticing it a lot more. We went to the downtown area yesterday and saw 2 or 3 Scythers, which I think is just on a more rare spawn list, and a lot more rare stuff's popping up. I saw Venusaur, the Victory Bell, there's a Magmar near my work. Like, these things never showed up at all, and now it just seems like the percentage is increased for better things to show up. My guess is they want you to chuck more balls at it so you can give them money to buy more balls.
Yeah, because you're going to want to burn through all your great balls or your...
Yeah, all of them. I mean...
And raspberries.
I don't know if you noticed also, in the game, you have to throw Pokeballs at the Pokemon, and you kind of want to land within this ring in order to get like a bonus. I guess it gives you increased chances. The non-AR version has been changed. I don't know. The background is kind of... Seems like that more of them are a little farther away, and they may have shifted maybe up or down. I don't know, but it seems much more difficult to get within the ring now. I don't know if you noticed that.
I have never overshot a Pokemon until the most recent patch.
Yeah.
And then I'm chucking them over their heads.
And like Doduos especially. Doduos were super easy because they were ultra abundant, and now they're way in the background, like Zubats. I don't know if you had experience with Zubats too much, but they're this tiny hitbox a quarter mile away. Yeah. You have to be a pro baseball pitcher to get to it.
Yeah, I found it made curveballs harder too.
Yeah.
If a curveball's close, I can nail it. I can get a great or a nice curveball all day long, but now I end up, the ball resets because I flick it off the side of the screen.
Mine has never given me the curveball bonus, no matter how much
you get
it
stars
spins.
and stuff?
Yeah. It'll be glowing and spinning, but I've never gotten the XP.
Huh.
It's
10. I guess, but every bit helps.
10's definitely helps. A nice gives you 10 as well.
Yeah,
and, that stacks up if you get 1,000 of them.
And then the last major change was, this was the first real update to a balancing of Pokemon. They changed a bunch of attacks up. The biggest one was water gun got a 40% nerf.
And it's huge, because that was a base attack for a lot of water Pokemon. Especially for me, I use Slowbro and Staryu all the time because of that attack, and I guess people were getting kind of privy to it, and it was just too strong.
Well, what I read was EVs are super, super common, and that they were also meant as an entryway for new players to start battling for gems. So EVs, they can evolve into one of 3 Pokemon, a fire, electric, or water type. And each one of those are pretty amazing for the 25 candy you need.
Yeah, especially the water.
And the water one was destroying things. And there was the Easter egg in the game where you could name an EV either Rainer, Sparky,
or Pyro.
And it would, every time evolve, it wasn't random anymore. You would get the exact one you wanted, and that secret escaped rather quickly.
That actually only works for the first one. Because I wanted to get another Vaporeon, I named it Rainer, gave me a Jolteon. I did that twice in a row. So
the first time you get it's the only time you...
Yeah,
okay.
As far as I can tell. Either that or Rainer and Sparky have been switched. I don't know why they would be, because Sandra evolved one trying to make it a Jolteon, and it became a Vaporeon, and vice versa.
Other big nerfs were Lick, which was a ghost type. It got cut in half. Mudshot, which is a ground one, also got cut in half. And then the biggest cuts were, it was actually Psycho Cut. It went from 15 to 17, so that's a 53%. It wasn't all nerfs, though. There was a couple buffs, and some were huge.
There's a lot of buffs, and it's awesome.
Mud Slap, which was a ground one, went from 6 to 15.
Yes, my Rhydon has a use now.
And then Rock Smash, which is a fighting, went from 5 to 15.
Holy crap.
Which is pretty significant. Those are the 2 largest ones. Earthquake, which is another ground one, went from 60 to 100. Dig, another ground. It looks like a lot of the ground ones got buffed. Went from 45 to 70.
Dig is actually huge. That's a 3-charge attack as well.
That's pretty
So it's, 70 times 3. That's
nice.
Nuts. That's a ton of damage.
Hyper Beam also went from 70 to 120, so... Snorlaxes seem to be somewhat common, at least in people taking gems. You can catch them as a full power Snorlax, so that's pretty big.
Yeah, Exeggutor also can have Hyper Beam, which is another one that you're seeing tons of at gyms because they have a high HP and a high CP when you evolve them.
And Thunder, not Thunderbolt, but Thunder went from 65 to 100, which is fairly large.
Yeah, that's massive. It seemed like, because I was using a lot of Jolteon because the gyms were full of Vaporeons often, and you figure electric is good against water, but the base attack is like 5 damage and the secondary was low, 40 or whatnot. Maybe it's actually useful now. I just kind of put them on the back burner, use something else.
So those were all the changes from the patch. So let me ask you, Ryan, what is your most powerful Pokemon at the moment?
Currently, Exeggutor. I got 2 that are both at 1700 CP. They got different movesets, but they're pretty similar.
He gets to play a lot more than I do. So mine is Exeggutor also. It's a 1247, and it's the Confusion and Seed Bomb, or its attacks.
Gotcha. At what level is your player?
I am at 17.
Gotcha. Yeah, once you hit 20, you start getting the Ultra Balls too, and you can start catching a lot bigger stuff. It seems like there's better spawns once you cross that 20 mark.
All right. So that was our thoughts on the new patch in Pokemon Go. Let us know in the reviews what you think. If you want to just give us your thoughts, please just, we love interaction. We love to hear from you.
Yeah, if you're interested in any more about Pokemon Go, like I said, me and the old lady have been playing a lot. We could easily talk about it more, learn more new things about it as we go along, strategy, whatnot.
Hearthstone is a card game from Blizzard. It's a free-to-play game that has some options.
Digital card game.
Digital card game, it's true.
Could never be a real card game unless you got some futuristic Minority Report technology.
Because of random.
And the numbers kind of keep track of themselves. It would take forever to put all the counters and stuff on cards. I've tried to make a game similar to this in physical realm.
And it's impossible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's awesome.
If you've ever played Magic or any other real trading card game, it's similar vein. So you battle creatures or spells, there's other abilities, and the object's just to get your opponent's life total to 0.
Yeah, it has mana as well, just like Magic. But it has kind of some improvements for sure on Magic. It's a little easier access to get into. You don't have to worry about getting mana screwed, things like that.
You get one every round. You get another mana that's cumulative, so it goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4.
Yeah, and most people that are listening to this probably know about Hearthstone. Probably it's kind of big.
It's I think Blizzard's #1 game from the terms of player base,
which is nuts. You know, this game was made in Unity by a team of like 10 or something, like a small team,
and it's a giant hit.
And Unity's free.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
They have world championships. They have a very large card base at this point. And the reason we're bringing it up is the new expansion, One Night in Karazhan.
Yep, it's an adventure. A little different than a basic expansion. If you're not familiar with it, adventures are kind of like small chunks of custom-tailored content made to kind of, some of them simulated old raids in WoW, other lore type of things in the Warcraft world.
They typically are things you have to unlock with coins or straight up purchase, and they break them out in wings. That way, this is how they make money.
Yeah.
They did this for, there was 2 other adventures that were really popular. Blackrock, and the other one's name is eluding me.
There were 3, actually. There was Naxxramas as the first,
is the one I was thinking
Blackrock Mountain, and then League of Adventurers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And that one was a lot more unique, because Nax and Blackrock were, WoW directly. League of Adventurers was like its own thing. Or League of Explorers, whatever. Same thing.
Yep. So this adventure is 5 wings and 13 bosses, and it brings 45 brand new cards to the game.
And these tend to bring good cards, like really good cards from past experience. It's tournament staple type of things. So if you ask if they're worth the money from past experience, absolutely.
Yeah, especially if you like playing competitive, which now they have made a standard set of competitive play, so it regulates cards and whatnot. They've really stepped up the competitive scene, so these cards are usually going to fall into play in some way.
Yeah, and standard, to those of you who don't know anything about Magic, is just certain blocks of cards that are available. Generally, I think their rules are within the last 2 years, and then the core set, so anybody that just gets into it can still play. That way, you can make new, interesting cards that don't have to worry about every other card, only the last 2 years of things, so it doesn't get too overpowered.
Makes balancing significantly easier.
They won't have to do as much patching and hear all the whining of everybody about Force of Nature and whatnot.
Yeah. So guess we won't go necessarily through all 45 of the cards, but some of the ones that maybe stand out to us. Before we started recording, we actually talked about a few. Morose was one of the first ones.
Yeah, he seemed like a joke to me. I mean, I could see where maybe it would be okay, but, I mean, Morose is 3-cost legendary minion, 1/1 with stealth, and at the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 steward. So face value, you get 2 power, 2 toughness for 3 mana. Kinda underwhelming. Yeah, when I think of a 3 mana card, I think of 3 power, 4 toughness as being kind of a vanilla standard, and it takes 2 to 3 turns to get to that. So, I don't know. It seems a little underwhelming to me.
The stealth's the only thing that makes me wonder if this has got any kind of playability. So stealth means it's untargetable by anything that's direct damage. If it's an area of effects, or if it attacks all creatures, it still hits it. But because it's stealth, you potentially could park this thing, and it's forever. Every turn you're getting a 1/1, which there's some decks that may have some shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm seeing Druid for sure, because there's a pump-up type of Druid right now that's going around, and that would just be another tool for it, something to consistently give you a dude to buff up.
One of the other legendaries we were also talking about was the Curator. So this one's a 7 mana drop.
This one's sick.
4/6 mech with Taunt, and a battle cry of draw a Beast, Dragon, and Murloc from your deck.
You know, something I hadn't considered. Brand costs 3. So you can technically double battle cry this in some scenarios. I know it's like a dream scenario, but you could draw 6 cards.
You could. I didn't think about that.
But the only thing that really stands out to me is the dragon, honestly. But you can tailor this to any type of deck, to be honest. I mean, even if you had just a specific beast deck or a specific Murloc deck, just pulling a card, drawing a card, might be good enough.
And 4/6 is pretty good. 4 attack is in that small gap of power word, death.
Yeah, shadow words, death and pain. So it kind of gets right
3 or less
it.
or 5 or more. So it gets there from that standpoint. It has taunt, so you have to deal with it.
Yeah, it doesn't dodge the fireball, but I mean that's really the only 6 quick that you're gonna have to deal with. Most of the time, like a power overwhelming minion's only gonna hit for 5.
And as a 7-drop, your next turn, you're almost guaranteed to cast at least 1, if not 2, of the things you just drew out.
Yeah, possibly all of them. I mean, if you're playing some sort of aggro deck, and this is just something to get you more little dudes, that could definitely fill your board.
A 3 and a 2.
It'd be almost like Neptulon at that point, minus the overload. I mean, not as big, but it's similar vein. And then it's a mech for wild. Could make for some wild shenanigans, too.
There's that wizard mech deck that specifically uses mechs that I've seen. Or mage, not wizard, sorry.
Yeah. I had a mech deck when it was in standard. I guess before standard, but yeah.
One other one I had seen, some seemed basic but super efficient, like the 1/1 or the 1-drop 2/2 bird,
which is a beast.
Which would count for, say, the curator. That's a druid specific card, which I think is solid for 1-drop, just as a 2/2 by itself.
Yeah.
Also, the kindly grandmother I thought was really nice. So it's a 2-drop 1/1, which by itself you're like, but when it dies, it summons a 3/2 big bad wolf.
Yes, Death Rattle is legit in Hunter. I don't know if you played Wild or if you play any Wild, but Death Rattle Hunter in Wild is pretty sick.
I've not played.
Because you can play Baron Rivendare still. So think of a 1/1 dying giving you 2 3/2s. And I'm going to guess that big bad wolf is probably a beast as well. So it would probably keep your kill commands online, which is a big deal for hunters. Like keeping a sticky beast out, that's why that infested wolf is so good, because it puts out more beasts after it dies. Sticky minions are always really good.
Firelands Portal is something. For 7, you deal 5, but you get a random 5-cost minion. Which, RN Jesus, you prey upon it, you pray to occasionally, but I like the idea that the 5 for 7, you're dealing 5 damage, which is pretty much always going to kill something.
You're going to kill something.
But then you're also getting potentially board presence out of it.
It's almost like mind control. When you think about it, I think the problem with it is it's at common. So the arena standpoint, because mages are so terrible in arena.
Yeah.
They get another common, ridiculous piece of removal. And it's tempo as well, because you get a dude. I mean, is there anything 5 cost that you're really going to hate? Like Junkbot? What, like a 1/5 for 5? I think that's it.
Yeah, the rest
anything else is going to be good. You're not going to get a Doomsayer like you would get out of them shredders every time.
You make a good point, because also another mage card is the Babbling Book, which is a 1/1 for 1, but a battle cry is add a random mage spell to your hand.
That is sick. I have not seen that until just now. That's awesome.
Because, oh my god. Because, I mean, that mage spells are what their bread and butter is. It's not the mage creatures, if you will.
And it costs 1. I could see that being a 2-drop, just like a better novice engineer, but being at 1, that is nuts. That seems like it'd be really good.
That makes me really mad.
It's rare at least, so Arena's not going to be as affected by that, but that card is sick. I would definitely have that in some sort of rando mage, Yogg mage.
So if we go through some other class-specific ones, the 6-drop Ivory Knight, it's a 4/4 with a battle cry of discover a spell, restore health to your hero equal to its cost.
I don't know how I feel about that, because
at 6,
Paladin Secrets are a thing, and they cost 1. And I would be sad.
Yeah.
If it I guess it's Discover, right? So you get 3. You're probably not going to get 3.
Well, you're getting
cards.
So think about a 4/4 for 4 would be super vanilla.
Yeah, it would be acceptable.
So for an additional 2, you're getting to Discover a card, which is you pick 1 out of 3.
Yeah, 2 mana is worth drawing a card. I mean, Warlock draws a card for 2 mana. It definitely feels good. I guess in a pinch, you can just take whatever's the most expensive, just to get the most health.
Yeah.
You run the chance of getting a lay on hands or something, and then it gives you even more health.
I guess for the extra 2 mana, you're potentially getting 3, 4, 5 health back.
Yeah.
Which is fairly significant swing.
It would be nice if you could target the health restore. I mean, maybe they tested that and it was too OP, but it usually restoring health's a little better on a minion.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Rogue gets one that's really interesting for rogue play. So it's Ethereal Peddler for 5. It's a 5/6, which by itself is fairly efficient.
Totally okay.
But the Battle Cry, which I guess is where it's very conditional, is reduce the cost of cards in your hand from other classes by 2.
The part that stinks is it's in your hand. I mean, I guess any rogue cards that give you other class cards are going to put them straight into your hand. But, I mean, if you played like a gang up deck and you put their cards, I don't know if it considers it yours, but it'd be nice if it kind of blanket got everything. I mean, what gives you cards right now? You got Undercity Huckster that gives you opponent's cards, and Burgle.
No, there's a couple. I'm horrible. There's a couple basic cards that do it also. They're like you get two cards from your opponent's deck.
Oh yeah, I don't even know about that.
Yeah, it's gonna come to me later. I'm gonna scream at the end of this podcast.
But I mean, the Battle Cry seems like it's barely ever gonna happen. It definitely seems like it would be fun. It would be really fun if you could make a deck that really made use of Ethereal Peddler. But it's just a okay guy because I mean his stats are good enough.
Yeah. Warlock gets 2 cards, so we get Malkazar's Imp, which is 1 for 1 drop a 1/3 demon.
That's acceptable already.
By itself good. Yep. Whenever you discard a card, draw a card.
This could finally bring discard somewhere. I feel like they've been trying to push discard as a mechanic with like Fist of Jaraxxus and the Tiny Knight of Evil, which I really want to be good. But this might be able to do it. I mean, it's a 1-drop, so you can essentially make it like a combo play. You can play it right before you go to discard a card and get that extra card right back. I could definitely see it being good. I mean, you got Soulfire as well. There's another discard. Succubus. Yeah. Succubus is really good for tempo. Even at 3 mana, you get Succubus plus the Imp and get your card back. I don't know.
That could be really good.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems like there may be a place for it.
They also get one. This one is the one of the theme cards, if you will. For it's Karakazam. It's a 5-drop that you summon a 1/1 candle, a 2/2 broom, and a 3/3 teapot. So this one is flavor.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody plays Magic. Listen to this. It's what was it? Bestial Menace. It does the exact same thing as that for the same cost. Just getting 3 guys is for sure good. It's a spell, so they had to put it in a class. It seems kind of weird that it's in Warlock. I don't know if it really makes sense.
They summon things.
Yeah,
I'd be interested. It doesn't show here if they're considered demons or something. Maybe I don't know. It doesn't give us that.
Oh, what was that one there? Candle. Okay, they don't look like they have any specific types.
Yeah, it doesn't give us an image on the spoiler we have.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess they're just vanilla.
Yeah,
I would assume if they had abilities, that'd be pretty OP.
And then Warriors get, this is actually fairly good, especially in Arena where it's kind of spam the board with creatures, is 3-drop called Protect the King. It's for each enemy minion, summon a 1/1 pawn with taunt.
That's a pretty sweet name.
Yes.
I think. And the picture looks awesome. It's like a pawn tackling another pawn.
Yeah.
And there's like some knights in the background glowing. That's pretty awesome.
That could be really good. Just you have some things that play a bunch of 1, 2, and 3 drops that try to just spam the board, especially if someone's just played Karakazan, or they played the other one, the Morose, that's got the 1/1s. You get a 1/1 pawn with taunt, which automatically stabilizes a board.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
And Bolster. I mean, you gotta remember Bolster.
Oh my god.
I mean, nobody's gonna play it, but also to consider that Druid that's going around, it plays Wisps of the Old Gods, Onyxia, things that just fill the entire board. That's something to at least keep you alive.
It slows them down.
For sure, yeah. It's like a Unleash the Hounds for Warrior. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, so all these cards look, I mean, there's some really solid cards. There's another one in here, Pompous Thespian. It's a 2-drop, a 3/2 with taunt. I feel like that already exists.
I like that he's holding a Noyatron head.
Yeah.
Like some Shakespeare.
It does, yeah. To be or not to be.
To hello or not to hello.
And then this one's weird. It's a 3/6 dragon for 6. That if you're holding a dragon, destroy an enemy minion with 3 attack or less.
Destroy some M&Ms if they're close to you.
Yes. So it's
I would.
It's
right now.
It's the priest card on a stick. Well, a one-time use on a 3/6 dragon.
And that's where I see it fitting in as well, is priest. Warrior might use it. Dragon Warrior is a thing right now.
Dragon Mage is a thing too. Well, Dragon Mage is a pre-con deck.
Gotcha.
It's one of the pre-cons they have in the game right now.
But the battle cry is definitely good. You can't deny that. I mean, if you're playing against other dragon decks, it kills a lot of the other dragons that are troublesome. The Twilight, whatever the fuck, 3/6 guy with taunt.
It would sure destroy that, yeah.
Yeah, the Blackwing Technician, the Fairy Dragon.
But that one's untargetable.
Well, not by spells or hero powers. So you can get it with Bookworm.
Oh, you could get it with Bookworm, yeah.
So, I think at 6 for a 3/6, it's slow for removing something that's probably not going to be a huge deal. It is a tempo swing. It's not a bad card, but I don't think it's a super great card either.
Yeah.
It's alright.
And then the last one we'll talk about is the one that has the most potential for shenanigans. Prince Malchazar. So it's a 5-drop 5/6. By itself, fairly efficient.
That's already okay.
When the game starts, add 5 extra legendary minions to your deck.
This card is so sick. Like, you don't have to play it. It's just when the game starts. You have to start a game. That's too awesome.
So armor warriors are a thing that you try to what's it called? There's a better term. It's not armor warrior. It's warriors that they want you to go to 0 cards.
Yeah, like mill essentially. Fatigue
warriors. That's what it's called. Fatigue warriors is a thing. So this is potentially gives you 5 extra cards against fatigue, or if you're running fatigue warrior, it gives you 5 more cards to outlast your opponent.
Yeah, anything that's going to draw a lot of cards seems like it would probably want this. Something control-y that just wants to go through the deck.
There's a Warlock deck that tends to go through cards. So yeah, my question is: it just random legendary minions to your deck? 'Cause it just says 5 extra. Normally cards will say random if it's random.
Yeah, you would assume it's probably going to be random.
But that could be just broken.
Yeah, I think it would be cooler if they were flavorful legendaries, like something specific to it, kind of like Mechatork or whatever his name is. He puts out an awesome contraption. It's just some random little legendary thing that does something crazy. They could have a lot of room since they already have, Beauty and the Beast, BS, whatnot type of stuff, candlesticks and whatnot.
Well, there's only 3 other legendaries in the deck, so I was wondering if it would put out all, if the 5 extra legendaries were the ones from the adventure, but there's not enough in the adventure to pull that off.
Well, I don't know. They put one at the end of each wing, right? Usually.
Yeah, there's 5 wings.
5.
So we're missing one.
They might not sneak a second one in. I mean, they did with Stalag and Fugan in Naxxramas, I think. I think they snuck an additional one in there. I don't know. It's probably going to be random, so I don't even have to worry about that.
That seems like a no-brainer in the 5 slot, though. Like, it's a 5/6 demon, so it's 5/6 by itself is solid at 5. Right? Yep. But then it's also getting you 5 cards that, for the most part, every legendary in the game it has some play somewhere.
Yeah.
And it seems really good.
Yeah. Well, usually they have play. I mean, you'll get Lorewalker Chose, and you'll get Nat Pagels.
But what if you get Ysara?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
and you'll get Ysaras.
Boom,
you
mic
get
drop.
Deathwings.
Especially if you already have Ysara in your deck.
Yeah.
It could add a second one.
What if I gave you 5 of the same thing?
That would be insane. 5 of any legendary would be fun. 5 Ragnaroses.
Might as well.
Just cause.
That's the only way I play my decks, actually, is 5 Ragnaros.
You're the one guy who has more than one.
Faceless Manipulators. What else? There's other ways to do this. Is there a rogue card that makes copies of stuff? I don't know. I'm getting beside myself. This isn't important.
But, so that's One Night in Karazhan. It's going to be coming out soon.
The 11th, I think. August 11th. They announced it like a week and a half before, which I think is a great idea. Don't announce it like way the hell out and make people wait. There's not enough cards to keep people frothing. I think it's smart to release it pretty close to when the announce was.
This one, so we'll have the 4 wings plus an introductory wing. It will have the heroic mode and then also the class challenges, which I've always found the class challenges to be my favorite part of adventures.
Yeah, and they give good cards.
Yeah, and I think the entry wing will be free.
I think, or there's like a level.
Yeah, the
like
introductory wings are usually free,
Yeah.
and it's usually like 200 or 500 coins.
I don't know. I've never bought them with gold. It's like
I've never paid cash.
$20 for it. That's what I've done because I never have enough gold.
No, I always grind them out because I'm cheap. All right, well, that would be One Night in Karazhan. Let us know what you think. If you're excited, if you think some of these cards are horrible that we've said are good, or ones that we've kind of you think are awesome, tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, and let us know about Medivh's chin. In this picture up top, the no, that's Fizzlebang up there. You scroll up, it's like the main picture for One Night in Karazhan. Look at that man chin. That's like Bruce Campbell on steroids. Looks ridiculous.
I just now looked at the picture. That is one hell of a man right there.
Patrick Swayze, Bruce Campbell,
and J Lo's
love
chin.
child.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Ryan fancies himself a game designer, has actually made a game on the Android market already, and has another one coming.
Yep, I have a miniature game that was done for the Ludum Dare Game Jam as well. I don't know if you can count it. I mean,
It counts. It counts.
It has a beginning and an end. The studio quote unquote is Doombrowski. You just search for Doombrowski, you'll find me. I put my name out there a lot to no avail. But anyway, besides the point, the game that I'm currently working on is entitled Suburban Scavengers. It was inspired by a group called One Game a Month. I think the guy's name is Chrysler. I don't know his name. I don't know his last name. It's something with a K. You can find him on Twitter. But he has a little group that the idea is to make one game per month, which I failed miserably. But it inspired me to start making the game, and it's based on the theme couch. I heard him in a podcast. He was talking about it. He's super hyped about it, and I started thinking about couch game ideas. What's a couch game that I can make within a month? So I had ideas.
Just so I'm clear, couch as in the thing you sit on.
Like the thing you sit on, yeah. And you got to think outside of the box when you have something as simple as that, like couch. So I was thinking, like, okay, maybe moving a couch from the top of a building to the bottom of a building. So you have to rappel it down by holding like strings that are on both sides. You don't want to crush people, and everybody at the bottom is stupid and they won't get out of the way until you like move it down slowly. So that was an idea originally. Kind of balance it out on both sides. Try not to fall it. Don't crush people. Thought it might have been funny to crush people, but didn't end up going with that idea. The main idea that I had was there's a couch that's been thrown away in a neighborhood, in a suburban neighborhood. The scavengers, or vultures, or whatever you want to call them, the trash pickers. Scavengers just ended up being the name that I went with because it's alliterative. Suburban scavengers.
So you literally went with it because it alliterates?
Yes.
Okay,
SS.
fair enough.
I didn't,
Whoa.
I know, it sounds bad that way, but I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back.
You're not Randall. All right, so back to your game. So we have our scavengers.
Yeah. The male character currently is hipster. Got a man bun, wearing capri pants. Of course, he would try to take some free garbage and say that it's great.
Repurpose the couch.
Yeah. And then the lady, I don't know, it's just a lady. She has a tank top on. You know, looks a little trashy, I guess. I don't know. The idea was to make him look a little scummy, but it didn't work out that way. In the long run, I will probably make more characters. I got chances to do that later. But you have the dude versus the lady right now. Currently, there's no AI, so both people have to be playing. And the idea is to push or pull the couch into your house. Your house is either on the left or right-hand side. There's an arrow that shows you where you need to go. Probably going to fix that so it works, looks a little better than an arrow. But you can punch. After a couple of punches, you get like a mega punch, which knocks them down. That's the time where you really get to push the couch further, is when they're downed. You can also bounce off the couch. If you jump on it, you'll instantly bounce way up in the air. While you're bouncing, you can also move faster than the other player, and you can elbow drop them.
Nice.
Because that's the only logical thing you could do if you bounce off a couch.
It's the elbow drop, yes.
And the elbow drop stuns for quite a while as well. So the whole idea is, it's kind of similar to like a dive kickish type of game. You do like one big move, and then you get some headway, and you get a little further. And it's just a quick little PvP game. It honestly kind of inspired by Nidhogg. I don't know if you've played Nidhogg.
I've not.
It's a fencing style game. Very simple. It's just go to the left or go to the right and kill the guy in order to get past him. That's like all you really do. So this is essentially the same thing. You punch him or elbow drop him, knock him down, and then push or pull the couch. There's also, what I'm working on now is what's called the clash state. When I was playtesting the game with my friend Kale, we noticed that if you're both grabbing the couch, it stops you, but nobody is incentivized to stop grabbing it or stop trying to push it or pull it their own direction. It's just a stalemate. So I had to find something to fill that blank, and originally the idea was the clash state. It puts clash up on the screen, fancy jagged letters, and you button mash. Whoever button mashes the most wins the clash. The other person gets knocked down. They just, like, a burst of energy just knocks them off the couch because they can't take it anymore.
Gotcha.
But I found I'm good at mashing buttons, and the people that I was playing against were not good at mashing buttons. So I won every clash. Like, all I have to do is push it and kind of move out of the way when they elbow drop. No problem. The game was just too easy. So now I'm trying to find a more skill-based clash as opposed to just mashing buttons. The idea I have now is, like, if you've played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, they have, like, a manual gauge.
Yes.
Where you just kind of keep the arrow in the middle. The idea is you'll keep the arrow to a specific point that's randomly chosen on this clash gauge. Whoever's the closest to the center when the time is up, they win the clash. And then the other person goes down. So now you don't have to worry about mashing a button. You just have to be accurate. You just pull the stick left or right at the right time. So you just have to balance it. I think that's the idea, at least. It would make it a little simpler. I haven't been able to test it yet, and I haven't been able to make it work. The first way looked stupid. Like, it would randomly change direction, like left or right, every quarter to 3/4 of a second. It would just randomly pull one direction. That's, like, for whatever reason in my mind, that's how the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater one worked. And after watching videos of Pro Skater, that's not how it works. At all. Like, it'll start tipping you a direction, and then as time progresses, it will be harder to recover, and it'll yank you harder and faster in that direction. So that's what I'm going to be working on tomorrow, is getting that so it pulls the right way. And I plan on working on the art assets as well, really next leveling the art. I don't know, have you seen any of the screenshots of it yet?
I have.
Yeah, and it was made to be placeholder art. It was never meant to be like, that's the be-all, end-all.
It's not the final.
Yeah, I wanted something that looked okay, had the right type of proportions, because the characters are interchangeable if I have the same proportions, which is huge for animations. I can just take, like, segments of another character and drop them into Spriter, which I use for animations, and it will automatically have all the animations done for that character.
Nice.
Yeah, it saves so much time.
So, if someone wants to follow your progress in this game, you actually are fairly active on posting updates.
Yeah, for sure. The best place to find the most detailed updates would be at Doombrowski.com. That's my website, DOOMBROWSKI. And I keep a blog updated pretty much every time that I make a decent size update on what I'm doing. We'll get a few hours of work done, I'll post an update. Usually post 2 or 3 times a week. I also have a Twitter that I post most things to. Like anytime I finish a day, I'll post a screenshot or some videos. The Twitter is at @R_Doombrowski. The letter R _ spelled the same way as the website, Doombrowski. And then Facebook. I also post up about the same things that I post on Twitter, with some variants because I have more family that's following me on Facebook. And that's just facebook.com/Doombrowski. Pretty simple. There's a Google Plus page as well, but nobody cares about it. I post things to it, but nobody cares about it.
I think Google Plus is the failed attempt at Google making something that's never going to really
we
work.
We have these explosive numbers because everybody that has Gmail has it. Like, just by default.
By default, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So check out his game. Check out the progress. He will, when it releases, we'll definitely mention it.
Yeah, the first release of the game, I plan on just making like a single slice of it, like a demo version, and just having it be free. It should be on my website as well as itch.io. For those of you who don't know, itch.io is an awesome place to find a lot of free games from indie developers, people that are just one-man groups, to all types of things there. It's really, really neat place. But yeah, there will be a demo version free, and then there should be a bigger version after that, probably later in the year, depending on how my job scenario works out by the end of the year.
Because it's basically a second job to make this game.
Yeah, I just do it.
Especially the way you want it.
Every morning I do like an hour to an hour and a half of work on it, and I kind of cut myself off there. you get burnt out if you start doing work too late. I learned that from the last game that I worked on. But you got some stuff in the works too, right? You're doing some video game live streaming?
I am. So I have gone down the rabbit hole of Twitch and have a setup which Ryan's actually looking at right now.
Yeah.
So I got the camera, the mic. I got the green screen a couple weeks ago. So I Twitch. I got addicted to this stupid game. It's Slither.io.
I've heard it. I haven't played it.
I say stupid, but I've logged some serious hours in this game. If anyone remembers Snake from back in the day,
yeah.
Or if you ever played the game Agar.io. So Agar was there was a balls, and you consumed smaller balls and got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you could always consume balls that were smaller than you. Slither does the same thing. You're a snake. You eat these little pellets, and as you get bigger, your tail gets longer, and then it becomes, I call it the Tron bike game. The goal at that point is to make another snake, no matter the size, run into your body. Gotcha. So the bigger you are, the slower you are. So that's where the balance is. Gigantic snakes are super slow, and then the smaller snakes are super mobile and nimble. So the objects you can encompass, you just want them to run into you, because then you burst into these little pellets, and you get bigger, and it's competitive. There's between 10 to, I think, 65 people in one room. And I tend to Twitch that game a lot, because it actually has a lot of people who like to watch other people play.
Yeah, and it's all ages too, right? I mean, there's not
my daughter
not blood spraying or anything like that. Yeah. It's like really basic.
It's glowy balls of light. But it's on mobile and it's on PC, and they do play together. It's I do that. 7 Days to Die, Ark is another game, and Overwatch are the ones I Twitch stream. You can find those at The Ninja Fatman. That's with the. So TheNinjaFatman. And that's on everything. So if you put any really big social media site or anything, The Ninja Fatman, you'll find me.
Yeah, it's good to be able to get the same thing on everything.
On everything. It makes my life easier.
I didn't get the Twitter, unfortunately, of Doombrowski. I had to put the R on it.
Someone already had Doombrowski?
They did.
Those bastards.
I know. It's not fair. So, I now have a quote of you saying, you can consume balls that are smaller than you. We have that recorded.
It is on record now. That's something I now regret.
I mean, common knowledge, right? How much smaller than you? How long are you going to eat them?
I can do it as long as I can. Endlessly.
I don't know why, I just imagine... Have you ever been to Ripley's?
Yes.
Yeah, I just imagine some whale balls display with like a fork and a knife next to it. They're smaller than you. You can consume them.
That is the scariest yet hilarious thing we've ever talked about. So thanks for listening to this podcast. So if you have anything you'd like to hear us talk about in the future, drop us a line. Any suggestions of games, if you think we're completely wrong in our opinion, we welcome all feedback.
Yeah, and we'll find a place to put all this stuff. This is just a test right now, but eventually we'll have sites we can directly link. I'm sure we'll try to get up on iTunes and whatnot. I'll have links on Doombrowski.com. Once we get there, we'll definitely let you know for sure.